We're gonna.
Okay,
We are live. AJ, hi there. Would
Hi,
you like
Fish.
that? Your son is going to be opening our show tonight.
Yes, he is.
Would you like to introduce him?
So this is my son. He is going into seventh grade, and we were looking at electives, and karaoke was one of the electives. The problem is he can't see the words, so he doesn't usually like to sing. But I told him he could sing in this class. He can sing anything he wanted. So apparently, he had this song memorized.
All right, here we go.
And go.
I am a shark. Isn't that neat? You couldn't name one thing I haven't eat. One time a crab, one time a fish, one time I ate an old license plate. You could say, sure, he's ate everything. I've ate swimmers and surfers aplenty, humpbacks and tunas galore. You could say, sure, he's ate everything. Want to know how kids taste? I've been 20. No big deal. I want some more. I want
Quit messing with your mic.
I want fry and ice cream sundae, Swiss cheese and white appetizers, chicken manicore. I'll even eat what people don't eat. Earthworms, a seagull. Heck, I'll even eat shampoo.
Oh no!
I even dream of tasting what's the word again? Horse. If I were you, here's what I do. Go to a zoo and eat some monkey. The police would arrest. I would resist and eat their cop cars too. Don't give me clothes, just give me legs so I can walk. No, make that run. I am a shark. What is my worth? I am a shark that can only eat half of the earth. Stuck underneath 500 teeth.
Oh my word!
I eat what the Chinese eat.
Apparently, that's a playoff of shark fin soup.
That's cute. That is cute.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. We went grocery shopping because school starts on Monday, and I don't know. I mean, I know I'm supposed to, I'm not trying to be their friend. I'm their mother, but darn, they're so funny. I can't help when they're not mouthing off, but they say like the funniest stuff in the grocery store. I can't keep a straight face. I can't. And they got a little bit of a dark humor simply because they've had to be very resilient with some of the challenges, the health challenges that they've had. So, the fact that they're able to laugh about it, it's
Great bunch of kids. Great
they
couple of
are.
kids.
They're good kids.
Yeah, I've had a chance to get to know them a little bit over the months, and they're just wonderful. I didn't realize how Broadway your son is.
His voice hasn't changed yet, but and I couldn't. All the performances he did last year, he was the only sixth grader out of the middle school that actually got lead roles. And even though he would audition for like the gross and the funny characters, he always ended up getting lead, love interests. Like the kids joke that he got married 3 times last year.
Mercy, that's funny.
Yeah, and so he's got some pipes on him. His voice hasn't changed yet, so I don't know. Maybe he's headed for Juilliard or something. Who knows?
Yeah, right, yeah. Absolutely. I've had some friends who graduated from Juilliard who are dancers or were dancers and musicians. Mm-hmm. Great school. Charles Fondren. Hello, Charles. Nice to see you. Christy is here. What do we got? We got
we got Mike. Yes, he's a talented fish. There's he got that. He was inspired there's a YouTube video out there that has like that take essentially it's satire. It takes the whole Ariel from the Little Mermaid and turns it into like a shark singing, and that's what he was singing off of. V
That's
Dub.
cute. Cute. V-Dub, hello, Johnny at Dan's Fish. The Masters in Theater is the first step into owning a fish warehouse.
Yeah, that's
Whoa.
true. That's right. Dan used to be in oh gosh. Yeah, he used to be in all in that Hollywood producer stuff world. I don't know. I think
Really?
fish are more relaxing than that world, but hey.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Mhm.
Mighty Mike. We sent some plants to Mike this week, and I guess they got there okay. Thank heavens for that. I've got, speaking of which, I ought to do this. Let's see if I can do this.
Hey, Kenny.
I have just received a batch of very nice plants that I'm going to show you. They're listed on Discord under the Plant Talks channel. Let's see if I can find it.
How's your week been? Oh, I need to stop messing with my mic.
Yeah, every time you touch it, it tells us that you're touching.
I can't hear that, but you know.
Can't you really? It's like a loud rumble. It's like you're taking a bucket of bolts and shaking them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very, very loud.
Sorry,
So
people.
Don't touch the mic.
V-Dub,
Okay.
wait a minute, V-Dub, you haven't done your dirted tank yet? Come on, man. You're behind. Catch up.
Really? Okay, so I've got about 20 plants listed here.
Mhm.
There are pictures of them and the names of them. Let's see if I can do this in a way that's sensible
Yes.
so I can tell you
Oh,
what they are.
DuckDuckGo. It looks like you don't want to be followed by the FBI, huh?
What are you talking about?
DuckDuckGo. It's a private.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm DuckDuckGo. That's true.
Kenneth D,
Well,
how are you?
Yeah, they've been through some changes.
Mhm.
Plant Talks. Okay.
There
Here's
we
what
go.
I'm gonna do.
Oh yeah, that Nubius is very nice.
My brother. See what my brother wants. Hello.
Oh, Charles, 3 weeks, 60-gallon dirted tank. That is very exciting. You're more
Oh
than
dear.
welcome to come up
You have
and
a
show
heater?
us.
Put the
Fanaticals.
heater in and put it on 86. And it'll cure it.
All right, we got.
It'll get rid of it. Okay. All right.
Oh, your brother has ick?
My brother's Molly has ick.
Oh,
Right.
poor baby.
Now I have managed to thoroughly screw this up.
Yes,
But
Mike,
wait a minute.
I did trim up the tank.
Okay.
Mhm.
Can we
Nice.
see this? Yes, we can see it.
Yeah.
Are you seeing? What are you seeing?
I see there is what looks like to be a Luigia.
Okay, you're just seeing the plant. Are you seeing this something in front of the screen moving around?
Yes, I do.
Oh dear. I can't do this the way I want to do it. Crap. Okay. I don't know if I can do this.
I understand having to prepare and let things go smoothly, V-Dub. I've got a Wallstead bowl. Well, they say it's a Wallstead. It's easy to call it a Wallstead bowl.
I'm
but
at a
it's-
point where I need 3 screens.
Yeah, you are at a point, Fatherfish. Yeah, I've got I've been working on a unfiltered, like just a small 3-gallon bowl at my office for about 3 weeks. So I understand preparing and letting it go smoothly. And I'm only at the hardscape level. We are.
Okay.
We have
I'm
already
gonna
got
have to.
questions in.
I'm gonna. Let's see. Let's go from the bottom.
Okay.
This bottom one is um, Anubias coffeefolia.
Yeah.
Now here's the deal: you get 10 of these for $50 plus $15 shipping, and that's only going to be good for 1 week. And I'm only going to take 3 orders at that level. I guess I'll take more if they come because I can fill a few more, but I'm going to, I guess, keep it open until I get 3 orders. Because my plan is to simply pay the cost of what I spent to buy these and then keep the rest for my tanks. So I'm just trying to defray my cost here.
So
So the bottom,
in a way, we are supporting you and your tanks by at least letting you
right,
recoup the cost.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The next one is Aponigeton alvaceus.
Mm-hmm.
The next one up is Aponigeton longiplumis. And then the one after that is Hygrophila pinnatifolia.
Isn't it awful how they've decided to make all these names complicated? It's not fair.
And then above that is Pogostemon. Now that's not Pogostemon. I've got the wrong picture here.
Okay.
Pogostemon is the octopus plant.
Oh.
And I don't have a picture of it,
Okay.
but I do have the octopus plant.
Nice.
And then after that is Gracilis, Ammonia, Hygro. Let's do it this way.
Kenny, as soon as we're done with this, we'll put you on the live stream. We've got him waiting, but this is important. We want to show
Gracilis and Ammonia. The second one is first one's Ammonia gracilis. Second one is Hygro compacta. So those 10, and then there's another 10 below that. And I'll just you can get over. Somebody post the link. Get over to Discord and take a look at these. They are also listed on Get Gills. If you have trouble getting on Discord, you can go to Get Gills and order them there. Java Fern, Ledwigio, Parawensis, Mosaic. The Mosaic's cool. See if we got that's some use Mosaic right there.
All right, copy the link, sharing it on.
And then Murio, that was Murio, Tiger Lotus, Banana Plant, Bulbitis, which is an Aponigeton, Cardinal Plant, which is a pretty plant, Dwarf Lily, and Clover. Yeah, so that's all of that stuff. Now, if you order,
everybody, look at my living room.
if you order through Get Gills, do not put the order in through Get Gills. Put the order in directly on.
What's your email address so that they can email you directly?
Use PayPal.
The PayPal, okay.
PayPal, the Fatherfish at fatherfish.net. That's the account name on PayPal. Sorry, I'm so discombobulated here.
It's all good.
I didn't work this out before.
We have a couple of questions to get to, and we lost Kenny. Kenny, if you're there, come back on.
Did he want to come up?
Yeah, he was in the background.
Okay.
Scott wants to know what that surface spiral plant is. I think I put an order in for that.
That's the one I was just mentioning,
Uh-huh.
what in the world?
I don't know what it is, but it's funny. And Mike, he got his order in today and it was healthy and everything went fine. So I'm very happy about that.
Good. I also shipped out some
Mhm.
stuff yesterday to California, so we'll see how
Fingers
that goes.
crossed on that one.
Yeah, well, should get there Monday.
Nice.
All right. Let's get over here so we don't have to look at all the madness. Um, how do I feel about capping the dirt with gravel? Unless you put 4 to 6 inches of gravel in, it's not going to work very well. The idea is to slow down the water flow. So if you put gravel in there and you have any kind of pump or any kind of water movement, it's going to go right into that gravel and it will suck out the dirt. So the only way to avoid that is to put the gravel, as I said, 4 to 6 inches deep. And that'll work, but that's going to give you 7 inches of substrate. And if you've got a 10-gallon tank, that's better than half full of dirt. So 2 inches of sand, 1 inch of dirt. If you have an old tank that's set up with gravel and it's been set up for 6 months or more, put 1 inch of sand on top of the gravel. That will pack the dirt down in there that's already there, and it'll work pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
What's your daughter talking about?
Give me a second. I need to make sure that they. Yeah,
observe the on-air silence rule.
I'm about to diminish their quality of life. Give me a second.
Oh dear. Oh dear. All right. Let me look at this a bit. God, I think I just woke up. It's the problem. I just discovered Lagonandra me boldy red. I love it. Don't know how. What is this? I don't know what this is. Not by that name. Let's see. Doo-be-doo. Huh. It's pretty. Ligonandra, I'm not familiar with this. It looks like an emergent plant that is, in this case, submersed.
All right.
Immersed and submerged and emerged.
Immersed.
It is, yeah, it's very pretty.
A lot of I've noticed that a lot of aquarium plants can be grown immersed, or originally that's how they were, or they're kind of in that swampy in between, like where like certain times of the year they're actually above the water, and other times of the year they're below the water.
Let me do this Charles Fondra thing.
Yes,
because that's kind of interesting.
It is, and I can relate. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you've had trouble with it.
Mhm.
Here's the issue with doing a bowl. You cannot do an inch of dirt because even 2 inches of sand is not enough to really adequately cap it. If you want to do a father fish, now he's saying the Wallstead bowl.
Yes.
Wallstead is different from father fish.
Yes, it is. It's almost like it's I don't think he means like a Wallstead bowl. Wallstead bowl. It's just an easy term to say because it's, I guess, now mainstream.
Yeah, except it's a little misleading.
It is.
Because Wallstead did not cap the dirt, which caused a series of problems that caused her to pretty much give up on dirted tanks. The principle was so important to me to be able to do dirted tanks that I worked at solving the problems. And we have solved the problems, and there were two of them, two main problems. Number one, the dirt depleted in about a year. Number two, it caused the water to become so heavily mineralized that there needed to be routine water changes. So we accomplished that, solved those problems by adding supplements to the substrate, and I sell those supplements. It's $20 for 200 gallons worth of supplements. So it's about, what's that, 10 cents? 10 cents a gallon to be able to do the supplements, and you mix them in with the dirt. The second thing is to cap it with sand. What that does is it keeps the dirt down under the sand. So that's part of the problem with gravel. The dirt won't stay under it. VW says, doesn't the dirt replenish itself naturally? It does, but it won't do it in a year. It takes longer than a year. One of the problems that I had early on in trying to convince the Wallstead people and the what is Tom's last name? Barr.
yeah.
Tom Barr. Yeah. To convince, and I never did convince them. You know, they still remain unconvinced. But their complaint with the sand is that it would take forever for the water and the dirt to percolate through. And they're right. It doesn't take forever. It takes a couple of years for it to work its way through, for all of that stuff to break down, for it to be replenished, and for the plants to then be able to take it up. So what the father fish system has done is created the opportunity for people to be able to have a tank that's set up and operational for years. I have one tank here that was set up 20 years ago. I'm frankly getting bored.
Well, that and you keep adding some more sand to it sometimes.
Well, I've had to.
Yeah.
You know, because over a period of time, it all becomes mud, and you have to keep adding sand to it. This is a 40-gallon long, so it's 12 inches tall, and it's almost half full of substrate. So
yeah, but it's 20 years old.
It's 20 years old. That's right.
Yeah.
So it takes a couple of years for that to work out. So here's the deal. If you want to do a bowl, a father fish bowl, put half an inch of dirt.
Not even.
Yeah, or less. Just skim it. Or like, quarter inch. Quarter and a half inch. And then an inch and a half, a little more than an inch of sand. Then when you plant it, put the plants halfway down in the sand. Don't jam them all the way down to the bottom. Let them find the nutrients. You can do that, set it up, plant it heavily with no filtration if you're only going to put a few little things in it, and it'll work just fine. The trick is if you do too much dirt, it will explode the tank. It'll foul the water. There's no way to control that in a small container. I learned that lesson years ago when I tried to set up a tank by simply throwing things into it. And I did it deliberately. I videotaped it. I've got it on video. Here's Scott wants to come up.
Yeah, bring him up. I
It,
just
it,
posted the link.
it fell, and I could never fix it. But I had like 2 inches of dirt, another 2 to 3 inches of sand. Didn't work. It was a 10-gallon tank. It blew up.
Mhm.
1 inch of dirt. The only exceptions to that is if you've got 100-gallon tank and you put 2 inches of dirt and 4 inches of sand. That'll work.
Yeah, I've got 2
There you
inches
go.
of dirt and 4 inches of sand in my 75. But now Scott's going to show off some of his stuff. So.
Hi, Scott.
All right. Hey, how you doing, Botfish? How you doing, EJ? Happy
Hey.
Saturday night. All right, this tank is 1 year old to the day.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
That's
Oh,
getting there.
I love the rocks. Oh my gosh.
I hope you've got coolie loaches in there because they will absolutely love that pile of rocks.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
the only problem is that I have a shrimp in there, and they love shrimp even more.
That's actually not necessarily true. I think it just,
Well, you got stuff going on. You're gonna like this one. That's our newest edition from Aquashella. That's our big sailfin that we got from.
Nice.
oh,
Green
these-
sailfin Molly. Very
Gorgeous.
nice.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So this is a deep substrate. I had to do this tank first because this has got about 5 minutes left, and the timer will go off on that one. Down below is a 20 shrimp tank and mollies. All right. That's a new tank. That's babies. Yeah, baby shrimp and baby mollies. That tank is about 30 days old.
okay.
It has fluval substratum in there, and then eventually that will get capped. But this is what who was it? I think Charles was asking.
Yeah.
About capping a tank. All right, so this is a goldfish tank. It's all planted, and it was capped off 11 months ago.
Oh.
And so you can do it. That's all that is black blasting sand, and the substrate is gravel. And it does exactly, Father Fish explained it very well, that what'll happen is it'll start seeping, I'm gonna say seeping downward. I do apologize, it's getting a little dark in here. But yeah, that's my babies.
I love the swords. So
Yeah, everybody wants my swords.
I just took out some swords in one of my tanks recently. They're really big.
Yeah, and
You give them good dirt like that, and they'll get big.
that is the manure creator. So we don't overfeed these. Maybe twice a week. There's a green Coreodoros in there. There's a if I can find him, give me a second. There's a standard clown pleco in here somewhere. This was the challenge. This is the tannin tank. I don't know if you've seen all of these, EJ, or not.
I've seen the tannin tank before.
Yeah, this one is just
seen the others.
Yeah. Okay. Too easy.
Yeah.
Give me a minute or two. Yeah. Got my
gorgeous.
angel babies in there. Yeah, it's not bad. It's getting there.
I love the hardscape. Oh, I'm a big fan
Oh,
of that
thank you.
wood.
That log was actually just found in the river. Grabbed it and brought it home. So anybody that says, "Oh, worry about this, worry about that," did a quick rinse job on it. You've seen the.
I've seen the cichlid babies, I think. Or
Yeah, you seen them. Yeah, you saw these guys. I switched over the air. I switched over the hang on the back to the air. These. Oh, look at these guys are showing off today too.
Oh yeah.
Again, a lot of these plants are just cuttings from other plants and stuff like that. So I'm not quite where I want to be with plants, but we're getting there. This is a.
Is that a patio pond?
Yes, I have two of them, and this one there's 20 or 30 guppies in there. I split my guppies out just because I don't want a lot of inbreeding taking place. And no heater in this, double light. Total cost on this was, to include the lights, maybe $35 to $38 with the air filter, air pump, air stone. That's very inexpensive. It's like 19 or 20 gallons. It's one of those artificial plastic. The
Lowe's or the Home Depot.
Yep, I have another one sitting outside right now, along with the German Shedder, who's probably going to drink out of it.
Yeah. Scott Fanatical says that you have such lovely big rooms and that you should put more fish tanks in there.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you what this room looks like in about 2 minutes when I go. You've seen the cichlids.
I have.
Yeah, that's Wendy's design. Wendy does really good design work on stuff.
That woman knows her hardscape.
Yeah, that's 10 months old, and believe it or not, all this hardscape we collected on our own.
Wow.
This is our guppy tank. There's probably, let me see if I can get them to come on up.
Ah. Yeah.
There's
They recognize
probably-
you as food.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the mean one. This is the actual green. It's another 38 gallon.
Mhm.
I love it. I'm starting to love this tank a lot. He has an attitude.
Ah, everybody's got that one fish.
Yep, and that is a locally caught green sunfish.
Really?
Oh yeah, and he's got a partner in here that he beats up constantly. Any kind of bugs and grubs that hit the ground go in this tank. That's what they get fed whenever we find one. Grasshoppers, anything like that. That's their natural. A moth gets into the house, it goes immediately into the tank.
Nice.
Got one more tank. I call this my ugly tank, but it's okay because it's got a lot of algae growing in it. But these are all they just eat and devour the plants. So I just keep putting top plants on there while I can. It was then, now I just call them the meanies. And so that's a quick reference as to how deep substrate works. We don't do water changes at all.
No need.
May top them off. We're supposed to be getting thunderstorms here in Oklahoma tonight and tomorrow. I've got like 5 gallon buckets out, and let's see if I can show you what the room looks like if you're walking into it, the big room.
That's beautiful, large, big room. You don't have enough fish tanks in there.
It's concrete. Yep. We're actually kind of gauging things. Where that TV goes, that's going to go bye-bye, and that's where the 125 goes. There is just enough room. If I win the lottery, there's enough room for a 500 gallon right there.
I'm thinking like a shelf, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't
shelf.
figured it out yet. But unfortunately, I'm going to be gone for a while. I've got to go do military things for a while in a not an austere location, but very close to an austere location. I'll just leave it like that. So my wife has got to take over watching all of these, which she does a very good job at. And we got the 40 under here.
She's talented with that hardscape. My goodness.
Yeah, and she draws it out for a while.
She's a natural.
I think she is. She's better than I am at it.
Scott.
So that's it. Yes.
Send me your address.
Yes.
I need to send you guys some plants.
Okay. That's fine with me. I'd like a mug and a mug so I can put it in the tank.
All right.
So you know how much Wendy and I really appreciate and love you guys. So you don't have to do that but if you feel like you have to, I will send you that on Discord. But
please.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. You guys be peaceful. Like I said, the system works if you work it. It's not that hard. I've had 1 or 2 diseases that were minor, kick up the temperature and it goes away. A couple of little minor salt baths, and like literally no water changes, no work. A little bit of algae scraping because I don't have enough plants in there to cross-reference it. However, I do have a question for you since I have you here. This is for Father Fish, and it has to do with blackbeard algae, which I like. However, I have got Brazilian, can you see it? That's Brazilian moneywort.
Yeah.
And it's taking over the root system of it. Is the plant dead? Is the plant dying or dead, or do I just leave it on there and let it go?
That's not algae. That's the roots. It looks like the roots to me.
It is.
It's black. It turns black like that.
Hold
on a second.
Wait, that might be hair algae.
Give it a second.
I don't think it's black.
Yeah, I think it's black. I think it's okay. Get your hands out of the way.
Yeah, staghorn hair out, like staghorn.
You think it's the actual roots?
I think it's the roots grow like that on that plant. Now I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. I didn't.
Yeah, and I'm gonna show it right here. That's the roots.
Yeah, it's got some algae on it.
That's okay.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Yeah,
what do you? Put something in there to eat.
Go ahead.
Snails.
I got the mollies.
Yeah, well, you know what the best, like hands down, the best two things I found so far in my limited experience is a true Siamese algae eater,
right?
And horned nerites.
Yeah.
Horned
okay.
Nerites.
Horned nerites. I have a big old nerite. There's my nerite right there.
The big old
Yeah.
Nerite's fine, but
Takes
the
more
horned
than
ones are
one.
yeah, the
Yeah.
horned
The problem
Nerite's
is they
smaller.
can't get to it.
Yeah. And so that's what's happening here. I've got a bunch of nerites and mystery snails, and I think there's actually a couple of trumpet
Plant
snails
it.
in here as well.
Plant it in the dirt
Plant it?
so they can get to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm telling you
And
right
you
now,
think
I
it'll,
think
because I originally, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying that I love my algae eaters, that my Siamese algae eater. When people say that the Siamese algae eaters eat like that, or like try to eat other things besides algae, it's because they've been mislabeled Chinese algae eater or even the flying fox.
Right.
But it's the true
Okay.
Siamese. And I love my nerite snails, but I find that my horned, they're smaller. The horned nerite
Okay.
snails are far more effective.
Mhm.
So that's all I have to say.
Okay.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop off. I'm going to shove that right in the ground right now. And hopefully those snails will be able to get to it, clean that up, and pop it back up again. Too
Yeah.
easy.
Take care, Scott.
You guys have a good one.
Be safe.
Thank
on
you very
your
much for having me on.
journey.
You take care
bet.
too, y'all.
Mm-hmm. We had Kenny waiting earlier, and I really wanted him to come up, but he left, I think, so I feel bad. But V-Dub wants to know, why does it explode? I think he was asking about the...
I think it's just too much activity. Here's the thing. When you do that dirt, especially if you add the supplements to it, it creates a lot of chemical activity. If the chemical activity is too intense, it overwhelms the substrate. It overwhelms the sand, ultimately overwhelms the tank. That's why you limit it to 1 inch and limit the supplement to 1 cup per 20 gallons.
And that's kind of what that leads back to the smaller 3-gallon bowl problems too. Too much.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah,
that's why it blows up. It's more than the volume of water can handle.
Mm-hmm.
And more than the substrate can handle. In other words, if you got 1 inch of dirt and 1 inch of sand, it's the dirt within a matter of months is going to work its way up into the water column. You're going to start getting dark water because it does that. It works its way up. That's why 2 inches is important. 2 inches keeps it down. It'll work up 1 inch, maybe a little better, and then over a long period of time, once it chelates and settles down, things sifting into it and working up will cause it to become a pretty homogeneous substrate. My substrate here in the 20-gallon tank, for example, you can't tell the difference between the dirt and the sand. It's all of a piece. But it's been set up for many years. Johnny at Dan's Fish.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of these green lizard tetras. What are these green lizard tetras?
Wiped out all the VBA and a 1 to 25. Oh, that's interesting. Huh.
It's always interesting when there's so little we know about fish, really, when you think about it, because I find that sometimes, most people, at least I didn't. I was always told that betta fish are only they're only carnivores, and yet I've got a betta fish that eats. I've got a betta fish that likes eating cucumber seeds. So there's just I guess nobody told me that they're omnivores. I don't know. There's so much. Maybe it's because I've only been doing this less than a year, but I find I'm learning stuff every day. Oh, we got the green lizard tetra. Oh, that's a pretty fish. Johnny, I want that fish.
Looks like a Danio, doesn't it?
It does, but more interesting.
There are so many tetras like that exist in very, some of them may only exist in one creek.
And, in
And
that
when that
one-
creek dies or gets fouled, it's gone. The whole species is in one little, maybe one little pond,
isn't there
one
some
little section of a creek.
isn't there like some really, really dirty city in Asia that they've recently rediscovered a fish in the sewer systems? I can't
Oh,
remember.
I don't know, probably. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they thought it was extinct, and then they found it in
Oh,
their
yeah, I
sewers.
heard about that. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Jeff wants to know about cucumber seeds, like my betta fish. Yeah, I've got a I've got a
Keep
betta
in
fish.
mind, keep in mind, he's eating it, and it may have some purgative value, but it has no nutritional value because the fish does not have enzymes capable of breaking down vegetable matter. Its enzymes are strictly insectivore enzymes. But bettas will eat anything. If they're,
Fish will eat anything.
fish will eat, yeah, right.
Now I've got a video on my YouTube channel of I was filming my fish. It was like 3:00 in the morning, and I was videotaping my fish as I'm sitting in front of this 75-gallon tank, and there was a piece of lettuce in there, and I've got this betta tearing out the lettuce.
Right.
I'll have to find it, but anyways, I don't know if that was cucumber seeds. Yeah, this betta likes cucumber seeds. He likes lettuce. But you're right. I don't think there is any nutritional value, but maybe fiber. Who knows?
Hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Granwood said his betta takes bites out of the algae wafers. They'll eat anything. If they're hungry, they'll eat anything. But it has little, if any, food value.
I wonder sometimes if my betta does it just to show dominance.
Most fish, Charles, are omnivores. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Roughage.
Right. I've got pea puffers in this tank. They're definitely not omnivores. They're full-on meat eaters.
Right.
Yeah.
Crystal. What's Crystal saying? Just posted a photo of the 10 I set up 2 months ago with the supplements.
Oh, in the Discord. Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, Jeff says I thought I would dump in a bunch of California blackworms for my betta, and he's moved all the leaves, hunting every last one, and he was hoping that they would get into the sand before they did, but no. I'm pretty sure some got into the sand. Probably not most of them, but I'm pretty sure some. I was hoping that some of the Malaysian trumpet snails in this pea puffer tank would survive. But I did a really not deep clean, but I moved a lot of plants around and had to move around the substrate a bit and take out some of the tannins in this tank. And I found almost all of my Malaysian trumpet snails. Well, I shouldn't say snails. I found all of their shells. So
Scott's going to Europe, Central Europe.
Mm-hmm.
There are some wonderful shops. Paris has some nice shops. Denmark, Copenhagen have great shops. There are in Poland and Czechoslovakia, there are 2 very large wholesalers. If you can get in to visit them, that would be worth a trip. He'll be in Germany.
Oh, I think there's a large store in Germany.
There are a lot of them. Depends on the city. I don't know that much about it.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have trouble finding really nice shops.
Definitely not. The challenge will be sending them home to Wendy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if he's military, he might be able to bring him back with him.
Maybe. I mean, if you
Possible.
can bring a wife back.
Right.
Alexander said he's been seeing a lot of bikers around. Bikers.
Bikers, yeah. Well, they're spawning them now. There's a lot of spawning activity going. There are 5 different species of biker. The common ones have all been bred for years in captivity. Some of them are albino, and the prices drop way down on them. It's an interesting fish because it's a fossil fish, sort of like the arowana or the coelacanth. If you know what a coelacanth is, that's a fish we'll never see in the hobby.
Oh, is that the one that like they rediscovered like deep and off the coast of Africa?
Yeah, except it turns out that it comes up at night. The female
Uh-huh.
brings her fry up to the surface at night to feed. So you theoretically could catch a few hundred babies. They also have divers that have been able to find them
Yeah.
in the Indian Ocean, mostly off Borneo. No, Borneo, not Borneo, Madagascar.
Okay.
Mostly off Madagascar.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
the first one that was found in a fish market in Indonesia, and since then they've discovered around South Africa.
Mhm.
Andy is calling me. Everybody's calling
Hey,
me.
hey, Kenny.
Hey, Andy.
Uh,
Hi, I'm online.
um.
Okay,
So
I'll call you back.
yeah. I want to circle around real quick while you're on the phone. Charles, I would love to see how I don't know if you're on Discord or not, but it would be really neat because I'm still in the process of trying to set up that 3-gallon. It would be really neat to kind of like, I don't want to say do it together, but kind of like try to figure it out together, how to do a father fish bowl on a very small scale. It's one of my, that's a challenge I like to take on.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them here I'm going to work on.
Mhm.
Shallow dirt, just half an inch, or even a heavy dusting would be adequate. And
Yeah.
then about an inch and a half of sand.
Yeah.
And that's really all you need.
I'll post
you
what I
know,
have on. I'll post what I have on Discord later.
The critical thing is plants. Kind of got to put plants in there.
Mhm.
Hi,
Yeah.
Kenny. Nice to see you.
The last time I did a bowl, I think that part of it was the plants, and I made it try to look more aesthetically a certain look, but it really didn't really work out that way because, well, I don't have $1 million to spend on whatever they do with the I don't know, the scaping that they do professionally. That really was only set up for a minute. That's more or less. It works really well for a minute, but once it's like to keep long term, it wasn't going to keep long term because I ended up getting cyno, and that was very annoying. But
Yeah, it can be
yeah.
tricky. It's easy. It's easy to overwhelm a
Yeah.
very small
What kind of plants
container.
what kind of plants would you suggest for to be able to help balance that system?
Fast-growing plants that take nutrients out of the water. Anacris,
Mhm.
kabamba, um, frog spawn maybe, or frog spit,
Mhm.
duckweed certainly. Just
Mm.
anything that's gonna hornwort would be good.
What about
Anything that's
pearlweed?
pearlweed, yeah. Guppy grass,
Guppy grass?
anything like that.
I have a bunch of water sprite here that just went
That should
nuts.
be perfect.
Yeah,
That should work. Yeah.
I noticed that the plants were doing because I did an experiment on this. I did it with a deep a father fish deep substrate, but I also put in a lot of humus, like a bunch of leaf litter, and eventually it kind of imbalanced it. So I know not to do that again. But I found that the plants that do really well in this tank because there's so much peat or humus, just or tannins, are the plants that really feed the water column, take the nutrients out of the water column.
Right.
Yeah.
Oiling my joints. Actually, it's new skin, and I got a raw spot on my finger.
Oh,
I had a bandage on it, and it just kept it raw. It
Well-
didn't help it heal. So
when I put that continuous glucose meter on my daughter for her diabetes, we put the new skin on top of it. But that's not fish. It helps. That's not fish related though. That's that motivates us to love our fish.
MD fish tanks, yeah.
Yeah.
MD's done a lot of pretty interesting stuff. I don't think he has anything long term though, because he's changing things in order to be able to keep.
He says he only keeps his tanks going for an average of about 6 months.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's because he wants to keep cranking out new videos, setting up new systems.
Yeah, I know.
It's just the approach he's taken. Yeah, it's made him a very successful YouTuber.
And I love his creative ideas. And so I do what I like to do sometimes is take some of his creative ideas, and that's what I've done. And then, but kind of converted it to the Father Fish way. And it's, I'm sure if he did it that way too, it would last long term. That way I don't have to escape every 6 months. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Serpa Design is also another. Those two
Right.
guys were the ones that got me got me hooked into this hobby in the first place, because you're watching these beautiful things.
Yep.
And then it started changing to I want beautiful things, but I also want fish. Well, I'm really excited about the breeding thing. Actually, the breeding things are really fun.
Well, you've locked on to the secret, and you did that pretty quickly. Most people spend 50 years getting there. You've done it in a few months.
Yeah.
So
by the way, I've leased killifish babies. Oops.
Yeah, Formosa, that's a nice little fish.
They're really cute. And I think the next one I want to try is the Elasoma. So I started trying to take them out of my 75. They're so hard to identify by themselves, whether they're male or female, until you put them all together. And then, you know exactly who the males are.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody sent me a question. I think it was on Discord. Wanted to know if they change sex, and I've never seen that happen, never noticed that happen, haven't heard about it. It certainly is possible that if the change occurs, it would be from male to female.
Well,
and it would only occur in a population that was so dominated by males that they would be unable to perpetuate. I've caught them wild, and I've caught them in significant numbers wild, and the males and the females are I've caught them juvenile, male and female. So I know they're produced that way. They're born male and female. There are fish that change sex. The most common one that we're all aware of is the Nemo fish, the clown the clown goby. The clown goby is born, they're all born male. And the two dominant ones in the school as they're growing up pair up and separate out. And then the biggest of the two, over a period of months, about 6 months, becomes a female. There are other fish that do that as well. Not many. There are more stories about it, more myths about it than there is truth.
I say it started with Jurassic Park. pea puffers, don't they kind of, I mean, they don't change midway through their life, but when they start off as juveniles, they kind of, depending on the circumstances, they end up, choosing their gender.
I don't know about that.
I read that.
That may be true.
Yeah, I read that. I think it has more to do with personality. Like, the more aggressive. If you put them in a group, that's how the gender sort of. I don't know. I don't want to say anything that might be wrong on here.
Yeah, I try real hard to only talk about things that I have personal knowledge and personal experience of. I rarely trust anything I read.
That's
I get into trouble recently on that. Had a biologist get back to me who said that what I was teaching about tannins was not true. That I put out a video that said tannins are nutrients. And then he explained that they're an acidifying bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a little more research and came back to what I had learned earlier, which is that some of that bacteria, as it's breaking down the leaves, creates sugars that are nutrients. So I sent him back that note and asked him what he thought about that. It was not on Discord. It was a comment on a video.
Uh-huh.
And I've not heard back from him. So I don't know, but he was not shooting from the hip. I mean, what he was saying was absolutely true. The problem is, the deeper you get into some of this stuff, even from a scientific perspective, the more you learn that
Mm-hmm.
you didn't think was true. The scientific method is not all about discovering the truth. That's not what it is. The scientific method does not determine what is true. It determines, how can I say this? It determines what we can experimentally duplicate with raw material that gets the same result time after time after time. That's all it does. It is a process of repetition in technique that creates the same result. Now, you do that often enough, and something will begin to enter in there that's going to ultimately change it. What we think we know about nature is certainly infinitesimal compared to what is ultimately true about nature. And we can swear by our testing and swear by our results all day long. All we're doing is creating something out of a process that we put into place to create that something. That's all we've done. And we can do that pretty dependably. And we can get pretty sophisticated about that. But that doesn't mean we understand everything about it. We only understand that much about whatever it is we're doing. So the hobby is very much that way. If you take a scientific approach to this hobby, you will be constantly testing and trialing and attempting to do things to get to a certain place. That's all in the world this father fish system is. It's a way of being able to achieve a given condition. And it's true pretty much 100% of the time. You can screw it up and you can fail. You can screw it up by just not doing it right. or you can fail by who knows why. The small bowl is the perfect example of that. I mean, there are processes at work in doing all of these things that we really don't altogether understand. In fact, we may understand only a small amount of it.
Hmm.
What we have learned to do is duplicate our efforts, our best efforts, in order to achieve a given condition. And that's all in the world this is. It's a duplication of a specific system that gets a certain result 99% of the time.
Hmm.
Scientific method. It's not about the truth. It's about duplicating your efforts and getting the same result. And if you don't like the result, then you shouldn't be duplicating your efforts.
Well,
Einstein said that.
that's true. He also said it was a definition of crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I've done like three of these bowls, and two of them have been wildly successful, and then the third one was the one that failed on me. And the two of them that have been wildly successful, they're still going. I haven't really done anything with them. They're just kind of wild.
That's quite nice to see. Glad you finally made it in.
Yay. Finn's, yes, I think at one point in the chat they were discussing whether gender can be determined by temperature, and I know, I do believe that that's the case.
In
True
the
some
eggs,
cases.
temperature can affect the zygote and cause a genetic shift.
That makes
That's
sense.
pretty well defined.
Yeah.
If fish that breed at a certain temperature will have more or less of one sex at that temperature. You change the temperature and it changes the relative percentage of sex births.
Hello, Johan, Bass Queen, Vibes. Let's see here. There's a few people that came in.
Michael Long.
Michael
Hello,
Long.
Michael.
Yeah. Trying to come up with why is hey Craig, how you doing? Like Jeff is saying Windex and duct tape. I have no idea why.
I saw that.
I thought
I
that
think
was
he's
funny.
talking about my finger.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Right. I've done that. I haven't done the Windex. That's ammonia. That would work. It's good a
that
disinfectant as anything, I guess.
that would work or that wouldn't work.
I think it would probably work. It'd be like pouring ammonia. It would
Oh,
hurt
God.
like hell, probably.
Yeah, let's just do it with
Windex
vinegar
and duct
too.
tape.
Yeah, why don't we?
Vinegar's good, right?
Yeah, melted butter. Hey, I want to show off my like what my lizard's doing right now. If you can see her, she's just staring at what I refer to her lovingly. She refers to, I'm sure she does, as prey.
Charles, 6.8 is long-term viable, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to change it. If it drops down to 6, what was I saying? I was talking about this last week.
Well, I mean, I think it was the mineral content needs to be reestablished in the water column because plants can eat it up pretty quickly.
Yeah, the critical thing is to follow the life. We did a clip video from last Saturday on this. If the fish are happy and the plants are happy, you should be happy too. Don't assume there's something wrong when there's nothing wrong. Don't create problems. Don't get paranoid. Don't get panicky. Sit back, relax, and think about what's happening. Generally speaking, the worst possible problem is solved with the least effort. It doesn't take a tremendous amount of effort. My brother just called. He's got a molly that's got white spots on it. Not a big deal. Have you got a heater? Uh-huh. Put it in the tank, turn temperature up to 86. It'll go away in 2 days. What could be simpler?
It's worked.
It
I
works.
remember.
Works every time.
I've prior to this point, I've been devastated by ick before,
Yep.
or whatever the heck it was, and then and all of a sudden, ick showed up on my Tetris. I have no idea how it got there. Like seriously, no idea how it got there. And I, just like everything I do these days, I call you or I go on Discord in a panic, going, "What should I do?" And I didn't lose a single fish, not a single fish. It was caught early enough, and I just did exactly what you said. I didn't even have to put because otherwise I usually do something like ick X or something, but
Which is a crapshoot. May or may not work, and it'll kill all kind of stuff you don't want dead, like scuds.
yeah, I like to keep my scuds around. They're fun. They're really fun to watch.
Fanatical says, EJ, is your tank on a shop bought stand or DIY?
Oh, it's a shop bought stand. I didn't buy it from a shop. I bought it from a guy in an undisclosed location off of Facebook Marketplace. Ooh. Yeah. Anyways, hey, Bumby's got a question. Ignoring the structural limitations of a tank, is there such thing as having too deep of a substrate? I think you've mentioned that there is such a thing as too deep.
How can we do this? Is the bottom of the ocean too deep?
Oh.
Is the bottom of a creek too deep? Creek's a good example because in a creek, typically the substrate is 6 to 8 inches and it gets denser. It gets rockier until it hits bedrock. So it's a creek that has been washing away the soil for 1,000 years, washes it away down to bedrock. Depending then on the speed of the flow, heavy material will build up on top of that bedrock. Larger rocks, smaller rocks, sand will be on the top. That may only be 6 to 8 inches deep, might be a foot deep. Rarely is it going to be deeper than that. Now, it depends where you are. If you're in a forest and there's a little stream running through the forest, that substrate will be maybe 6, 8, 10 feet deep before it hits clay. And the clay will be the foundation of it, below which the water will not be able to go. So that's kind of a weird way of answering your question. Typically, the deeper you can make the substrate, the better the tank is going to be. If you want to fill a 2-foot deep tank with a foot of substrate, it'll be a great tank. It'll be healthy, it'll be strong, it'll be dependable, it'll be rock solid. May look weird. And you may just really not like the way it looks, and you may not be able to keep what you want in it. I had a couple of tanks at my shop. There were 20 longs. And for one reason or another, a couple of them wound up with about 6 inches of substrate. It's a 20-gallon tank, which is 12 inches tall. Half of it was substrate. They were the healthiest tanks I had. I could grow anything in those things. And never lost a fish in those things. Looked pretty weird. But so, yeah, it's a lot of it is aesthetics. You just have to kind of do a minimum to be able to achieve stability. And then beyond that, it's really up to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Charlie, my water is 6'8". What's it Cape Africans? They will do okay at 6'8". Won't be a problem. you'll be able to keep them perfectly healthy at 6.8. That's virtually neutral. Neutral is 7.0, slightly acidic.
I mean, you could
Fish-
probably, if you're really concerned, wouldn't you? You could probably like cap your dirt with like that cichlid sand stuff, right?
Yeah, you could put a calcium sand in there or some kind of calcium paste. A lot of people do that. My experience with fish is that they tolerate an awful lot. I've had very few fish that have not been able to tolerate alkaline fish that theoretically that have not been able to tolerate acidic water, and the reverse is true. The reverse is more true, frankly. Some of them, if they're wild caught in very, very soft acid water, are going to struggle in a hard water tank and may not make it. Their fry will. If you get them spawning, their fry will make it. They'll do just fine.
Melted
Zil-
Butter asked earlier about the proper light protocol, spectrum, and luminance count.
I saw that. That's interesting. Ah,
That's a hard one to explain. It really is. I did a little bit of research on it, and I still don't think I understand fully. The only thing I know is the best thing that's ever worked for me is honestly sunlight, even if it's through a window.
oh yeah, absolutely. I buy. See if I got one.
You
I
bet
buy-
you-
I buy 4-foot shop light LED tubes. They're strips, 4-foot strips. They run about $10 a piece. On my 40-gallon, I've got two of them. On my 229s, I've got two of them taped together so they don't flop around. And because I've got a lot of new plants in these tanks, I have the lights on 24/7. I never turn the lights off. The plants are healthy, they're growing, the fish are healthy. Somebody said to me, fish like to be in the dark. And that's absolutely true. What you'll find in the middle of the day, particularly if you're a fisherman, is that the fish are going to be under a log, beneath a rock hang. They're going to be in a dark spot in the middle of the day. Now, they may come out and swim around a bit, but fish can find dark places to hide in. And certainly, if you've got a lot of plants, you've got places where they're going to be able to shelter.
Yeah.
Fish, however, do not sleep.
They don't?
They don't sleep. Number one, they can't close their eyes. So there's not that level of sleep. Number two, there is no REM with fish. They don't lose consciousness. They remain conscious. They remain vigilant in the dark when they're just laying there trying to be quiet, trying not to be exposed. There are other fish that move around all night because they have night vision, or they've got feelers that allow them to, they may have no eyes.
Yeah. What about those loaches? I mean, everybody has heard or seen those clown loaches, or there was what do you call it? Those those loaches that lie down and freak their fish tank owners out.
They will spend all of their time hiding in a piece of PVC 24/7 until there's food, or until they get hungry and need to roam around. Fish tend to, not all fish, but a lot of fish tend to, they're either a prey creature or they're a fish that doesn't move around much. Now, obviously, there are fish that move around a lot, and we like those fish in our tanks. Tetras, live bears, are on the move all the time.
Well, my yo-yo loaches, when I had them, they like to move around. They like to chase each other. They're like one of those high energy fish.
Yeah, that's right.
But I've seen
Danios.
Yeah, Danios too. I've seen clips where you like how the clown loach just seems to be laying on the bottom and it's exposed. It's not hiding in a PVC or anything like that. Just laying on the bottom, freaks out the owner. The owner kind of maybe tries to touch it with
Pokes
the
it and
fish
it darts off.
and it
right.
darts off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah, they're not
that's funny.
sleeping. They may be resting, although that's unlikely because fish tend not to stress themselves. They may get stressed if they're being chased, like by a net,
Mm-hmm.
but fish tend to exert themselves at an absolute minimum level, even when they're swimming around. They're not exerting themselves. If they're chasing something, they'll do a mad dash until they catch it. There are other kinds of fish, like the pupfish or the Florida flags, that are on the move chasing 24/7. They don't do it at night because they can't see anything. They just lay down on the bottom.
Right.
But if there's any light, they're often running to the races, and they don't stop. They just vroom, vroom, 24/7. They may stop for a moment and flutter and look around and dart off. They don't. But they don't sleep.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely.
If they did, they wouldn't survive. Because anything that came upon them in the dark would simply be able to gobble them up. They depend on being able to dart out of the way if there's danger.
Oh my
which
goodness.
means they have to be conscious of what's around them to do that.
It's
and
like-
if they're conscious, they're not sleeping because sleep is a state of unconsciousness. Fish don't have that unless you smack them in the head, and then they typically die.
Typically, yeah. Shout out to Snake. Oh hey, Ray just came in. I saw I saw Misfit and Corey.
Jeff Pasternak. Hello,
yeah,
hello.
Melted Butter and 3G.
Jesus, Jeff.
Yeah, Fanaticals. I'm not getting I do have chairs. I'm not getting a chair. And I'm not.
No, I kind of like I like looking at EJ. Don't misunderstand. She has a pretty face, but it's nice being able to have that tank up there. I just like. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, and that's probably why. And that's why I sit on the floor.
And I
want to show it
tank.
off.
I thought about that today. I could put a tank behind me here where the hutch is, but I hate to move the hutch. Mainly because I don't have another place in the house to put it.
So instead of having a set area to keep my electronic equipment, I just bring the electronic equipment to the tanks.
And set it on the floor and play with
set it up.
Right?
Well, I mean, I'm sitting on a nice cushy pillow and I'm very comfortable. Thank you. I just, ADD can't move. Really? Johnny, that's a repetitive question. Do fish have souls? Yes. And that
do fish have souls?
I think the next question is, do all fish go to heaven?
Is there a fish heaven? Do fish have souls? Depends what you mean by soul.
I think it was a joke, but I mean, if you want to go for it,
listen, I'm open to it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Here's the thing. Typically, when we talk about soul, we don't mean soul. We mean consciousness. Typically, when we think about what the soul is, we think that the soul is our conscious self. That may or may not be true. Might be true. I believe it probably on some level is true because I believe that God, the creator, imbued his creation with himself in the form of consciousness. And I think every aspect of nature is in some meaningful way conscious. Yes, I would even include rocks in that. I think rocks have a level of consciousness, if only on a subatomic level, in which they attract each other in order to be able to be a rock. So if you define consciousness in that sense as the soul, then yeah, I think that every living and every created thing, everything in nature is in some meaningful way soulful. I don't know what that makes me exactly.
I
A
don't know either.
pantheist, I guess. Kenny,
What's up,
how
guys?
how are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
Good.
Nice,
What's
nice
what's
haircut, man.
cooking?
I'm liking it.
It's just all pulled back.
Ah, well, you rock it. So
Look
keep
at
it.
that.
Oh,
Look at
oh,
that.
look at those dude! I had no
Wow,
idea.
got dreads.
Wow. Yeah, you're the genuine thing.
Yeah. So I was gonna
What
come up earlier, but I had to put the kid to sleep, so
Yeah.
I had to go when I was waiting backstage.
How old's your kid?
I've so the older one, he'll be 2 in October, and then I've got a 6-month-old son.
Wow.
couple of babies, right?
Yeah. They're what, like 16, 18 months apart or something like that?
Yeah. So what, 20 months old and 6 months old, so
Yeah.
14 months apart.
Year
How many
and a
months
half.
apart?
14, something like that.
Yeah. Mine are 15 months apart. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It gets better when they get to middle school. Oh boy.
I mean, we saved a lot on having to buy new baby stuff for the baby.
Oh yeah, right.
That's how you do it. Get them all out of the way. Keep all the stuff
Keep them
together.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are they
right.
Keep them
both?
coming till you're done, and then when you're done,
Are,
you don't get any surprises.
are they
Yeah.
both boys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Yep. Julian and Damien are their names.
Nice.
Awesome. Awesome.
So what are you doing over there with your
Not much.
fish?
Just hanging out in the fish room, getting some more stuff done down here and everything. And
I'll
like I
tell you,
moved,
it's really, really coming along. I don't know if everybody here. We got some new folks. Why don't you show us around a little bit?
Yeah.
all right, give
Show
me a
us some of
second.
your. Now,
Bass
Kenny,
Queen
you.
said. Bass
Oh.
Queen said she had 3 in diapers at
Oh
once.
Lord. So Kenny, Kenny does natives. Like all he does is native setups. It's the neatest thing. And this is also the same gentleman who he drew out his plans for what he wanted to
Oh
create.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Huge, mad respect, man.
Yeah, I was privileged to be part of the planning.
For the most
Hey.
part, I've stuck to that plan.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. VDub is a new folk. Very nice. Thank you for coming out. Ray worries about flooding, but we'll get. Oh my God! Look at that hardscape. I think I'm on a hardscape kick lately.
Oh, so this is one of the newest pieces that I just found.
That's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Wow! I can't wait to see
Very
what you do
nice.
with that.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
root system.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Or you could just
Yeah.
sell it for like $1 million on
Yeah,
eBay.
really.
Techno
So, well-
hippie. Yeah, Scott
Nice.
says that your lake tank is insane.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. This guy right here.
Yeah, there you go.
What a great tank. How many gallons is that?
This is a 180 gallon.
Dang. Wow.
6
So
what? Great tank.
Yeah. So
Look at
where
that
does
red sunfish. That
the red
isn't he
sunfish hang
gorgeous?
out?
These
Under
guys,
the log, yeah.
where you see them right now is pretty much where they hang out.
He's dominant.
Yeah, this guy here, he's the bigger dominant male. He's a pumpkin seed. The
Yeah.
one right there in the back is a pumpkin seed. This is a northern sunfish.
Mm-hmm. Where do you find a setup like that in the wild?
So this is a Lake Champlain biotope. So this is modeled after a part of Lake Champlain in the wetlands.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, I mean, everything. This is a dirted tank with a sand cap, and everything in here is locally collected. I mean, substrate, rocks, plants, everything.
It's
Well,
amazing.
while we're on this subject,
Rock bass.
That must have been such a task taking that log home.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Father
Okay.
Fish.
We have a fellow on Discord who has a company in Michigan. Look at is that a pike?
It's a bowfin.
A bowfin.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Nice markings on it. His business, this guy's business is security cameras, 24/7 security cameras. And he's willing to help us set up 24/7 fish tank cams. And that would be a great tank to do one in. So if you're open to it, we're going to learn how to do this. What it'll do is it will absolutely explode your channel.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, I had something similar set up on my first tank that I had set up for that originally started my YouTube channel.
Yes.
I had taken an old cell phone and set the old cell phone up as an IP web camera.
That's what he recommends doing.
Yeah, and had it taped to the side of the aquarium pretty much, and that was this tank here, which I just moved this from my sunroom down here into the basement.
Right.
So
anyway, I think we're going to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Start-
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was done.
Oh, I would love to do that too. I mean, my 75, absolutely. It's my nano fish tank. But I'm doing some changes around it. But it would be neat to have it on my puffer tank 24/7 because that's just such an interesting, dynamic, predatorial tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corey Miller is asking about doing bluegill sunfish in a tank. Yeah, there are a number of people doing it. Coldwater Creek is doing it. Yeah.
This tank here has 4, so it's got 4 bluegills, 3 pumpkin seed, and a northern sunfish in it.
Nice.
And then the rock bass and the bowfin.
Yeah.
And then this is this is a custom built tank, and I built this myself. This is my 73-gallon stream tank that I had set up.
Did you build that cabinet? That's a nice cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's custom built.
How did you set up a stream? Like, I'm curious as to how you did with the water circulation.
So
false bottom.
Because I was I'm in the process of cleaning it and stuff too, but
no worries. I just want to know the concept.
So you see this here. There's a false bottom. This is 2 inches for the actual bottom of the tank, and it runs the length, and there's a 4-inch gap on either side. And so I've got this pump here, which needs to be cleaned, but this goes in here just like that, and it draws water down this side, forces it underneath the false bottom through the chamber, and then back up the other side, and creates a continuous directional flow, simulating a stream or creek.
That's a way to do it.
Oh, I'd have to do that custom though.
Now you can put a mesh on top of that opening in order to keep fish from going down in there or detritus or whatever.
There you
go. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what you
I've got
use. Yeah.
this is the prototype of what I had over there, but I've got the actual ones are still upstairs.
Yeah.
When we
Nice.
moved everything, but this, I mean, this pretty much just drops right down in here
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
keeps the fish and stuff out from getting into the bottom chamber.
Very neat. Oh,
Neck
wow.
holes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I looked into, because, you know, I was always trying to do something different. I looked into trying to create an aquarium from scratch. And I've had a couple of failed attempts. I'm not saying never,
Yeah.
but I don't think I've got quite the equipment yet. And
So I've actually got a video on the build process of this aquarium.
I'll have to look at it later. That sounds awesome.
I think it's under I have a playlist on my channel. It's called Stream Tank.
Mhm.
It's like the second video on that playlist. It's how I built this fish tank here.
I like it.
It's like, yeah,
You had it running upstairs.
yeah. This is the one that used to be running in my sunroom. So I had
Yeah.
it running off of natural sunlight. I didn't have any lights on the tank.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a beautiful tank.
I will definitely check that out tonight. It'll be my light reading before bed or my light viewing before bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, because all of my other fish tanks are down here, this tank was neglected quite a bit.
Yeah.
But the neglect on this fish tank is what led to my rainbow darters breeding in there.
Well,
You know, unbeknownst to me. So that was a benefit.
Nice.
But
yeah.
I moved it down here.
Oh, excuse me.
When I got my bookshelf moved down here, and some of my fish books on there.
Yeah. Oh man, I bet you can't wait for your boys to get a little bit older and they can help you with this passion. That's right. I remember this. You do realize that it's like you opened a door and there's every fish keeper's heaven right here.
Yeah.
Well, how are the tadpoles doing?
The tadpoles are all gone.
You sold them all?
Yeah, the ones I had 5 or 6 left that hadn't transformed yet or morphed yet, and then I sold those guys, and all of the frogs are gone too. I've sold all of them.
Next year, man. I mean, timing was terrible. I had a lot of other stuff going on. How about the bluegills? The bluegills. Oh, what are these?
These are my rainbow darters, and then there's also 3 log perch. Like that big guy's a log perch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
And,
interesting fish.
My rainbow darters are right there. That's one of the males.
I like the colors. I can tell there's like a little bit of red on them, huh?
Yeah. Sorry about the algae.
It's all good, man.
And then these are the babies.
It's so cute. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I don't know. I think I've recently been getting baby fish accidentally everywhere. They're so cute. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I actually I didn't even know these guys had bred, and I went to clean the stream tank out on the bottom and do some maintenance. Yeah. And I saw a bunch of these guys swimming around in the bottom chamber, and I'm like, no shit.
You must have been very excited.
Yeah.
Corporal Yeager's here. Hello, Army Aquatics. Nice to have you. Oh, what is that fish?
This is a long-nosed gar, but he's only about 4 inches.
Oh,
little tiny guy.
My kids and I have encountered some gar recently. Made some really good memories.
I got spider plant growing out of it.
Very nice. How did you get that spider plant to grow out of that?
Just sticking the roots in water. They'll root in water.
Yeah, I've done it before. You know what? The reason why I failed that one is I think the water was too acidic. I've been learning that some plants do better in different water conditions. Corey's a fan of your gar. Ooh.
It's some more darters. These are female rainbow darters, and then the one in the back is a fantail darter.
I like the rocks you found.
Yeah, there's that's a emerald shiner.
Oh, okay.
It's spotfin shiner. I'm not sure yet. It's still small.
I've been getting out some trying to find collecting spots, and so far, with no success at all.
So pretty.
I think I need to get up into Pennsylvania or down into Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia's a great spot. That's where I got a lot of my fish. Like these guys, all of these mountain red belly dace, these all came from a collection trip in Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah, part of the problem where I'm at is that all of the creeks and rivers are essentially mud bottoms. They're all
Yeah.
basically drainage.
My
There's no
saffron,
there's no rock material on the shore. It's kind of like Florida, only I haven't found places where there are even plants.
yeah.
Those are
So
pretty.
aren't they nice?
These are
Yeah.
these are saffron shiners. They get like in their breeding mode that you see the green lateral line on their sides.
I
Yep.
do.
That turns like a gold and it wraps around the front of their head and the rest of their body turns to red that is their lips.
Yeah.
Huh.
That reminds me of a cheap hooker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
And
Sorry.
then these are
Rudolph.
Piedmont shiners.
Nice.
Very nice. Oh.
What's your pH for this stuff?
Last I checked it was 8.2.
Wow, pretty
Usually
high.
stays around.
That's your you have a well or city water?
No, city water.
City water, okay. So that's the way it comes out of the tap.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, they're certainly happy and healthy.
My rainbow shiners.
What do you feed?
Right now I've been feeding the Sarah Onips. They love it, but I also feed different.
Sarah and bug bites.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I've used the
Yeah.
spirulina bites before I
Yeah.
got into live foods.
Yeah,
Now I
feed
use
a lot of the different formulas of the fluval bug bites, like the spirulina flakes, the Sarah Onips. Which this bucket here, this is a 3.1 pound tub. I paid $30 for that, and it's like $100 something online.
What
Yeah,
is
that's a
your
good deal,
secret,
isn't
man? Your secret is really,
Wow.
I mean, you can find some stuff for pretty cheap. You found a bunch of
Oh my.
freebies behind Petsco.
Cichlid bug bites, color.
Have you tried live foods before, Kenny? With
Oh
your
yeah,
fish?
I've got my tanks here that have my bluefin killies and my leaf killies.
Oh
As
yeah.
you can see, it's full of snails.
Yes.
And I harvest these snails for my log perch and darters.
Huh.
And there's also scuds in here and stuff. So yeah, I feed snails, I feed scuds, brine shrimp. I feed some of the baby shiners to the long nosed bar and to this guy here. It's a chain pickerel.
Oh, nice. One of my absolute favorite natives.
Is a pickerel?
The chain pickerel, yeah. It's stunningly pretty fish.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's a baby.
He's only 2.5 inches.
Yeah, he's a baby. Yeah. They're so pretty. They iridesce.
Oh.
But you can see he's got a nice full belly.
Yes, he does. Nice.
Yeah, scuds and snails. You don't really need to have a dedicated tank for them. They just show up especially if you feed them a lot.
Yeah, I do a very wide variety of foods, like the sunfish and the bowfin. They all get shrimp.
Yeah.
And stuff like that too, aside from the cichlid pellets and everything. But I like feeding a variety of foods just to give them a varied diet.
Yeah.
Some bug bites. I got some Dr. Baskerville stuff back there.
I see some brine shrimp hatcheries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you have 400 baby rainbow shiners, you need some constant supplies of brine shrimp.
No kidding. Hey, try this for an experiment. When you're next time you hatch baby brine shrimp, don't throw the hatch water out. Just find some container, someplace dirty, and just leave it in there. Maybe put a bubbler and just see what happens. Make sure it gets like all algae-fied and stuff.
Yeah, put it outside.
Yeah, put it outside, or I know it's up north, but make sure it just gets like a bunch of algae. And if you want to, even throw some green water. Fresh green water will work too, as long as the saline content is up. Because I've got something like that outside, and I didn't really do anything with it. And next thing you know, I've got adult brine shrimp. I don't do anything with it, and the brine shrimp, the adult brine shrimp, are actually get quite large. They're fun. You just scoop them up with their brine shrimp neck and let see what put them in a tank somewhere and see what happens. I love how we just do that. Yeah,
I'll
and
have to try that out.
Yeah, it's just the excess. That's all you got to do is the excess, and just put in. What was her name? She does the morning show. She was the one I got the idea from, and so I kind of,
she got it from me.
Either way.
Yeah, I started doing that 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was fun. It was.
It's great. Yeah,
it's a cheap,
a no effort. It's a no effort way to grow brine. Actually, I'll tell you where it came from. My daughter, when she was 6 years old, took a little tank into school, set it on the window ledge, and put some brine shrimp in it. And it sat there and grew generations of brine shrimp. Never a whole lot of them, but for 6 months, it had adult brine shrimp and baby brine shrimp in there, doing absolutely nothing other than letting the sun come in and turn it green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that with these jars up here in this window. Those are it's tank water that I cleaned out my sponge filters in.
Yes.
And set them up in the window in the sunlight, and it turned into green water. Now I culture infusoria and different copepods and cyclops.
Get a little closer.
Perfect.
Yeah. Get a little closer. I want to see the green nastiness that is so much fun. I want to see if there's anything moving.
Look at that.
It's gotten out of control. I'm gonna have to cut back, but it's just so hard to throw out tank water sometimes if it's especially dirty, because there's really interesting things in it. I know it's terrible.
Yeah, you guys probably can't see it on the video here, but there's tons of little cyclopses and stuff in here.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to see, but I know what you're talking about. I've accidentally cultured.
That's my fish room.
I love it.
Big fan. Absolutely.
Coming together nice.
Yeah. That log is a masterpiece. It absolutely is. So thanks for coming up, Kenny.
That thing was such a pain to get into that fish tank.
Really?
I can only imagine.
Well, I mean, this is a 6-foot tank, and it's a 5-foot log. That's 5 by 2 by 2, probably. Like it extends all the way to the back of the tank and everything. So I mean, it was to get the log through these top braces was a pain.
Oh yeah, I can see that. If anybody can do it.
But I managed to. So
you did. It's a wonderful. What do you call it? It's not map. It's the highlight of your fish room. It's the centerpiece of your.
And that's the stand right here. That's a stand for a second 180 gallon.
Wow.
So it's right next to it, and it's gonna. I'm gonna do them as a cohesive aquascape. So it looks like both tanks are, form into one.
Oh,
wow. A continuous fish wall.
12. Yeah, it'll be 12 foot of this, pretty much.
I should open up a coffee shop that is literally all it is lined up with fish, a wall of fish.
There you go.
I'd probably spend more on the fish than I would on the coffee.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Kenny.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I'll have to check out his stream tank and his build later. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's on my channel under Stream Tank playlist.
All right. I will be going there. Thank you. Corey, you need, just because I said something, I think Corey
Yeah,
took
the
it to the
pair
next
of you.
level.
The pair of you.
Sorry. Took it to the next level. I didn't mean to do that. Mosquito larvae and bloodworms seem to come with the rainwater. Interesting.
Yeah, I have a couple of fish tanks on my deck outside, and that's another thing I feed is mosquito larvae and Daphnia from the green water tanks that are just sitting out on my deck outside.
Yeah, I've actually accidentally cultured bloodworms before, and it was just, you know, a container outside that it had a little, like about 1 inch of gravel, or just a single layer of gravel in it, and there's bloodworms. But when it got too hot, they stopped producing. So
yeah.
All right, let's see.
But yeah, I'm gonna hop down, guys. You guys have a good night.
Thanks,
you.
Kenny. You too.
Appreciate your time.
Good to see you.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye-bye.
All right. Fanatical says you went to a restaurant where the tables are in water and koi swim around your feet as you eat. There's that. Okay.
There's one here in Ocean City that's set up that way.
I want to go. Why don't we
I don't know
have
what kind
like
of
that?
I don't know what kind of fish they have. I think it's actually in the bay. I think it's that they've got the tables set up in the bay, so it's saltwater.
Oh, salt water is very good for you. It's probably man, they don't have anything like that in Houston. That's terrible. Like, come on, you need to do this.
Well, there you go. Now you know how you're going to make your first million.
Right there, yeah.
What a great fish room. That's so much fun watching that as it's developed.
Yeah, it is an ongoing journey, isn't it?
You bet.
Let's see if there's any questions.
We're talking about tadpoles a lot. Tadpoles are a wonderful food for fish.
Oh, they are. Oh. I guess because I keep smaller fish. I'm like, well, actually, no. My first thought of tadpoles is, oh, they're so cute. I want to see how they get, raised
turn into
adults.
frogs, right?
Yeah, I don't. That's not my first instinct. I mean, that's my first instinct. It's not my first instinct to go, oh, hey, we should feed them to fish. Which
really?
Well, I mean, I do that with other things, so I suppose that one's. Oh, oh! Don't tell me you're getting tired, Father Fish.
Oh, hard to imagine. What time is it? 9:15.
Yeah.
What have we been at it? Almost 2 hours.
Yeah. Might have to start calling it to a close. My children are quiet. Like it's the too quiet stage.
I see.
Yeah.
A frog in the tank. Depends on the frog. Frogs will eat fish. So you can't put a bullfrog in a tank because it'll eat your fish. It'll also jump out. I have a bucket out pack that's got a frog in it. Has like 2 inches of water in it. And the frog is obviously trapped in there, but it's apparently an aquatic frog because every time I walk by the bucket, it dives into the water. I just haven't fiddled around to see what it is yet. I want to set up a terrarium in the house. I've got a tall 15 that I want to set up. I need to work on that. That would give me a place to put him.
You sent me a little African dwarf frog.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh.
He was actually, yeah, I know. It was when you were cleaning out your
right.
Your plate in Florida when you're getting ready to move in Florida. I think you said like you had people gave you a bunch of fish and you were having to, send them out everywhere. And I'm pretty sure that so the frog you sent me, he was a really skinny, scrawny little thing. He's grown 3 times now,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, he's best friends with one of my betas. They hang out
That's
together.
It's a pygmy African,
Mhm.
an
African
African
dwarf
dwarf
African.
frog. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
the 3-toed clawed one that's an absolute monster.
Yeah, they get big.
They do.
Frogs will eat small fish. Yes.
Well, anything gets in their mouth, right? Oh, Bass Queen says that her dwarf frogs hunted her guppy fry. I imagine they would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have a hard time catching them, I imagine, but they use their hands to scoop food into their mouths.
You know,
Their front.
yeah, but you're going to be surprised. This frog has eaten scuds and Daphnia.
Huh.
Yeah, somehow he's
Nice.
figured out how to do it. I think, if it's there, they're going to figure out how to do it. So,
The
like,
native green frogs make good pets.
Mhm.
Native green frogs are really nice fish. A nice fish. A nice
Nice
frog.
frog.
Yeah, if you have a terrarium set up, they'll do quite well.
Mhm.
And you can mix other kind of frogs in with them. The Cuban tree frog has driven them out of South Florida,
Mhm.
but you can still get them up north. And they're small. They only get maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches. The little frog.
They got apparently Fanaticals has dwarf frogs alone. He's going to add a beta.
Yeah.
So I was on a Facebook page for a while. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to touch my mic. I was on a Facebook page for a while that was all about those African dwarf frogs. And let's keep in mind, I've had African dwarf frogs off and on since I started in the hobby. At one point, I even had 3, and then I had an opportunity to trade them for different fish. So, but I've kept the one you gave me because he's cute. They're all cute. I actually kept dwarf frogs with a beta fish. That was just, to me, it was like kind of like the standard. The beta fish tends to be on the top, and the African dwarf frogs tend to be on the bottom. They both like relatively the same. They both love the same water conditions, same
Right.
water temperature,
Same food.
same foods. Yes. And it's just a perfect relationship, I thought. And then I get on this Facebook channel, and they're all like, they're just totally, demifying you, or if you keep a beta fish with a frog.
Yeah, it's a lot of kids who just don't have any experience with things, and they think their ideas, their thoughts
Mhm.
are valid because they think them. It's amazing how many people believe that whatever pops into their brain must be true because they thought it, as though they were God or something. It's really strange how many, particularly
Imagine.
young people. That's before you learn how to think, if you ever learn how to think. A thought is a mysterious thing.
I'm getting teenagers, or my children turning into teenagers, and they're generally very sweet, but I'm noticing things that my kids, they're arguing back a little bit. So I know it's part of the process, but yeah, some of the thoughts, you could say, that they think is true. I'm God, I never thought I'd be saying this, but I tell them, no, it's not going to work this way because I know from experience that it's not going to work. And then my daughter's like, yeah, well, doesn't matter. Nah, doesn't matter. Like, so I'm like, okay, go ahead. We'll do it your way, but I keep a backup. For example, like, oh, I don't need a sweater. I'm not going to be cold. I don't need it. I'm like, I know she's going to need it. And so I keep a backup. And then next thing you know, she's like, I'm cold. And I wait about 20 minutes, let her stay cold.
Right.
And then I give it to her and then go, and then, do it the best way possible. I told you so.
Funny.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going. Make sure you order plants. I need to
Yes.
get some plants out. I've got spectacular plants. Go to Get Gills or get on Discord on the plant chat channel and order some plants. It's a really good deal. These are plants. Many of them run $10-15 each. I'm selling them for $5. So
That's a
you
good
can
deal.
get, you can, and you will get extras because I
Yes.
always put extras in the box.
You do.
And
you
I
always
ship
do.
them. I ship them hermetically. I mean, they're in a bag. They're in a styrofoam box with a cooling agent in there. So they're going to make it. They'll be fine. I do guarantee them. If they come in mushy, then send me a picture and I'll send you some more. But you shouldn't have any trouble. Get them ordered right away. This is not going to last forever.
I'm looking forward to those 3 clover plants. I think they're really neat.
Oh, they're cool. Yeah, I'll get yours out on Monday.
I think I'll put them in my 3-gallon bowl. They look like they would do well
Nice.
there.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Now they're a strange plant. They're a plant that dies back and then regrows.
Oh.
So when they die, don't be upset about it because they're like grass. They send out runners, and you'll have all kinds of babies coming up.
Cool. I look forward to that. All right. Thank you, Fanaticals. That's a wonderful compliment. Apparently, we're very knowledgeable and entertaining.
Yes. Right.
I really appreciate being here tonight. I'm going to interrupt my children to make sure they aren't doing anything.
Thank you, EJ.
Yeah.
Delighted to be with you.
Be sure to order those
No,
plants,
it's fine.
guys. It's good. Yeah. Be sure.
Yeah, and get on Discord if you want to learn how to do a live stream tank cam. We're going to be doing that.
Okay.
I've also, one more thing. I have a new website. It'll be up maybe this weekend, certainly within a week. It's called father.fish. Father.fish. Hard to forget that.
No, very hard to forget that
And
one.
you'll be able to, it's not ready yet, but it will be. It will be shortly.
Awesome.
Love you all. Take care. I'll be back tomorrow night with Mary Page, 6 o'clock. See you all then. God bless.
See you in
Bye
Discord,
for now.
guys.
Bye-bye.